Awesome. I am so glad that we are here. Hey guys, I'm Jared Jarvis. I'm here today with Rona Brahma, Leanne Mason, and we've got several other fans here with us that are here to learn. Actually, I shouldn't say fans, students, fellow students with us that we are here to learn together. And guys, today's topic is an important one. We're going to be talking about RevitaZen and doing a RevitaZen reset. Now, when we think about resetting, let's just think about what that is. That's an opportunity for all of us to do something a little bit different. And I love that perspective because I know at times in my life I've needed a reset, a redo. And this is a great chance to be able to do that. So, we're going to be talking about this new program that's out, the updates to the program, the new products that are coming along with it. And I am so excited to be talking with you guys tonight. So I think Ronay is going to be taking this off and getting us started. But guys, this is definitely a topic that you will want to pay attention to, not only for yourselves, but you never know who you're going to know that could also benefit from this amazing information.
All right. Well, I am excited because I really love it when we are able to do a detox. I'm kind of an extreme girl, so I'm like, let's do a deep detox. But guess what? That can be a little harsh on your system. So we want to make sure that we are not doing a dive 100% going from eating Cheetos and all the other things into absolute clean eating because guess what? You'll get a couple days into it, you'll feel absolutely sick, and then you'll be like, I'm not doing this. So we are never into that. I also need to say that we are not doctors. We cannot diagnose or treat. We are not uh, dietitians. Now, I do have a nutrition coaching certification, so there are some things that we can definitely help with. But we are here to educate and to share information with you, and especially to share where to find the information for yourselves, because that's really, really important. I was really excited when they came out with RevitaZen. That's one of the things that we're going to be talking about because it is a gentle daily cleanse for your colon, your liver, and your kidneys. This is important because as you are starting into anything, you want to ease into it. You want to go small in, not all in. And as you are going small in, you're going to start making small daily changes. Okay. The first month is all about getting your body ready. It's like a spring cleaning, like when you open up your house and you start like cleaning stuff out. I'm definitely not a deep dive into deep cleaning either all at once because again, you become overwhelmed and you just don't want to do that. Things that we want to make sure that you are doing is drinking lots of water. And if you're switching over from, let's say you're doing lots of soda, lots of things, yes, with our water, we want to make sure we're using glass, stainless steel, or ceramic, especially when you're using oils. And I will tell you, the RevitaZen oil in water, it's not so tasty. Okay, let's just put that out there right to begin with. It's not bad, but everybody's going to react differently. A lot of people prefer to put it into a capsule and take it that way. Okay, gentle,
So
stepping in.
the other thing I just realized in looking at your blog, and I didn't address it either. Previously in our detox protocol was lemon oil. Lemon oil is super good and actually tastes good, right? So lemon oil in our water is a good alternative to that piece.
Well,
So
I would say any citrus oil, actually, lemon, lime, grapefruit, tangerine, wild orange, they all, first off, help to remove toxins from your cells, which is awesome. That's what we want to do. And they help your body to start into that gentle detox, right? Um, quick things. So we did talk about glass, high quality stainless steel or ceramic, and starting slowly. I have some people who are like, I put a ton in and then I couldn't drink it. You're going to start with 1 drop and then see how that goes. And from there, sorry, I'm just letting somebody else in. We want to make sure that we are easing into everything that we're doing. Um, Leanne, are you going to go over the daily steps or do you want me to?
I have all the links for the daily steps and all of that. Yep.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing too much. I did want to talk about what RevitaZen. I'm super excited and I'm jumping on what Leanne normally covers, but I want to talk about what RevitaZen does for you emotionally. RevitaZen was created to support the body in releasing what it no longer needs. Okay, I love this because not only are we talking about physically, but emotionally. By assisting natural detoxification pathways, especially the liver, kidneys, and digestive system, this blend makes space for new vitality to emerge. But its reach goes deeper than the physical. This blend helps individuals release emotional residue of old habits, toxic beliefs, and suppressed emotions that keep them stuck in a cycle of depletion. This blend ignites a bold spark of empowerment, reawakening the inner fire needed to step forward. It restores the courage to face life with renewed presence, especially during times of transition or personal healing, when fear or uncertainty can make change feel overwhelming, when individuals feel burdened by old patterns or overwhelmed by the weight of change. RevitaZen offers grounded momentum. It invites the mind and body to soften, reset, and begin again. Instead of striving to force change, RevitaZen reminds individuals of the wisdom of release. In letting go of what no longer serves, they create a space to reclaim energy, integrity, and emotional clarity. What they've carried does not define them. From this liberated space, new possibilities can emerge. And I love that. I love that we can detox not only physically, but emotionally. And I will tell you, this oil does not smell great to most people. So a great way to use this is on the bottom of your feet and put some socks and shoes on. Of course, I'm going to tell you smell it anyway because it works with the amygdala. Just like with any essential oil, that's going to help you with releasing things that are stuck, with your limbic system working properly. But not all oils smell great, and even if they don't smell great, they are doing something great for you. Leanne, let's talk about what we're going to do with this 90-day reset. And,
Perfect.
and probably not like, I don't know, like I'll let you go with that.
So the biggest thing, I'm going to share my screen. I want you to go into, before you do the reset, you're going to want to order it, right? You're going to want to then take the assessment. And I love that. This assessment is the lifestyle assessment. I love that this is here because this gives us a baseline of where we really are, right? And then I highly recommend after the 90 days doing the assessment again so that you can actually track your own progress. Now, one of the things that I didn't even think about until just this moment is what if I'm doing LLV instead of the BMG plus? No problem, right? Um, Rone and I can do a personal consult and help you with that. I say stay on the dosing that you're on. So if you are on the full recommended dose of the LLV, which is 2 capsules of each of the supplements twice a day, do that for this cleanse. If you are on a half a dose, do that for this cleanse. So, biggest thing, you have to know where you are when you start so that you can note some of the differences. I would also say write down on the back or, print this off, write down some of the areas that you're really hoping to address that may not be have been addressed in the actual assessment. So then if you go, I have in this information and then the guide for each month. Now, something I'm going to tell you, I can't open them from here because you have to download them, but you can go in and download some of the things that are in there in the guide. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can actually zoom in on it. Is in the guide. Nope, it's not going to let me. Oh, there we go. In the guide is fiber as an option. Ronay, I want you to talk about the benefits of fiber because I know you have the stats down a little bit better than me.
Fiber is amazing. Okay, first off, less than 5% of Americans actually get the proper amount of fiber. And truly, Jared is the one that has more of these stats. But if we don't have the right amount of fiber going on in our body, elimination is not happening properly. And truly, when you have a backup, you're gonna be cranky. So we need to make sure as we're detoxing, as we're letting everything out, that we have the proper amount of fiber because if things are sluggish, if things are blocked, then it causes other inflammation issues down where we don't want those inflammation issues.
Very
How's that?
nicely done.
Thank you. Okay, good.
So a lot of times when we are doing a cleanse, like Ronay said, we go like great guns and all in. And doTERRA previously had a 30-day cleanse and restore, which I've done multiple times, right? But the difference is Ronay and I had a protocol that we did a month before we did the cleanse and restore. So we are doing what they've now worked in, which is month one is the prep phase. It is preparing our bodies. It is, and it actually surprises me a little bit. And I will tell people hands down to always include this, even though it's not in their prep phase. Having TerraZyme with each of your meals and at least one before going to bed on an empty stomach. So you don't want to eat dinner and then take an extra TerraZyme. You want to wait a couple of hours after your last food went in your mouth and then take TerraZyme. That helps get the right digestive enzymes going through your digestive system to help with that cleanse out, hopefully first thing in the morning. Now, everybody poops. We're going to talk about elimination. If you are not having 3 or more bowel movements a day, there is something backed up in your system. Many people do not like having that many bowel movements because they only like home court advantage. So I hope you get what I'm saying there. Many people
You
do
mean to
not
be
like,
at home for those things?
yes. So they train their body to hold it, which is not necessarily healthy. Because once we become backed up, it's hard to get back on top of it. It looks like Jared might have something to add to this.
Oh, are we talking about fiber and
Yes.
talking about movements?
Moving things through.
Moving things through. Oh gosh, guys, this is so important. And yes, I do laugh about this because it's one of those topics that we really truly, as a society, don't seem to want to talk about. And there's so many reasons that all of the things in our diet are so crucial to this process. You know, when we talk about the possibility of adding fiber and whatever type of fiber you can get, if you can get a good quality fiber, I definitely recommend it. It adds bulk to what you're passing and makes that process a little bit easier, helps slow the absorption of glucose and sugar, helps with that regulation of blood sugars, helps with cholesterol levels. I mean, there are so many different reasons. And I mean, ultimately, if we are sluggish in our activity, there are so many toxins that are staying pent up in our bodies and contributing to other types of toxicity through our blood, through our whole limbic system, and we see those things start to happen. And one of the other things that happens is your body knows that this is going on. It knows it's holding on to toxins. And so if you don't want to all of a sudden have your body start finding other ways to eliminate, whether that be through respiration, stinky breath, whether that be through the skin, through the pits, the pores of your body. I know I've known people that it didn't matter how many baths or showers they took in a day, they always seemed to have a certain aroma to them. And sometimes that is absolutely because their body is trying to flush something out, and it could be because they're backed up. So find a way to make sure that you're a little bit more regular, to make sure that this toxin is flushing out of your body, and we will all do better, I think, as a society, if we would just make that change in our lives. Now, sometimes that involves doing something that a lot of people don't want to do, which is drinking more water as well. You know, people ask me on a regular basis, well, can't I just drink more soda? And the answer to that is simply no. Soda is not going to help you move things along and move things along better. Find, drinking some water makes a big difference for that. If you are dehydrated, it's going to make it harder to go.
Perfect. So one of the other things that is super important that's not necessarily addressed in the literature from doTERRA or even our blogs is in that prep month, be aware of your food choices. Do a menu plan ahead of time so that you are preparing your body by putting the right things in your body as well as preparing. Now, what is that? It is making sure you are eating the colorful fruits and vegetables. It's knowing the difference between what is considered a vegetable and what is considered a carbohydrate. Now, some of those are super important because of the fiber and nutrients. I want you to think of the fact that a white potato has less nutrients than a yam or a sweet potato that has more of that vibrant color. Also, the more you eat the skin of many of those vegetables, apple peels, the peels of your Yukon Gold potatoes, which are a rich yellow color, right? And the yams and sweet potatoes, many of the nutrients are actually in the skin. Same with our apples, right? So make sure that you know what you are putting in the body. Raw vegetables are truly better for the body than cooked vegetables, steamed better than cooked, because as you are boiling vegetables, you're losing nutrients into the water. So the more you know and the more you can prepare. One of the craziest things that we used to do growing up is, I don't know about you guys, but did you peel your carrots instead of just washing them?
Oh, as we were kids? No. I mean,
Okay,
We,
yeah,
growing up, my mom always peeled the carrots,
yeah, we don't do
always,
that anymore, but I
but we
did
don't
that
do that
growing
anymore.
right.
We wash them,
up. Hmm.
right? And if you're concerned about what's being put on the outside of your produce, you can simply, Jared, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. There are so many of the treatments that are being done for some of our foods. And part of it is because we're not getting as many of our foods locally. We're not getting them where they're seasonal. We're not getting them, we're getting foods that have been preserved and treated in such a way that they can then sit in a cellar somewhere for 12 to 18 months very often before they are even ever delivered to our homes. And so, that's a big deal. There's so much that's lost, not only just in flavor, not only just in quality, but in enzyme benefits, enzymatic benefits that we would get. And we can talk a whole lot about how our foods are now enzyme deficient when we're talking about foods that can make a difference there. But we're just gonna say, you know what, the more natural you can go, the better results you're going to typically have. Uh, but even then, and this is a sad truth, guys, a carrot today is not the same as a carrot 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Our food has been manipulated and modified in some different ways to make it pretty sometimes, but it's lost a lot of its value.
So the other thing, I want you to do your own research because again, certain things we want you to go do your own research. What used to be water being sprayed on our vegetables to keep them fresh is no longer. So do your research. Um, Make sure that you're rinsing your fruits and vegetables with water really good. And in most cases, you do want to do a vinegar and water solution. So half a cup of vinegar to a gallon of water, rinse your fruits and vegetables. Some of them you actually want to soak in there. Lettuces, soak in there because they're getting sprayed while they're sitting on the shelves. So,
And don't
um,
be afraid to use a drop or two of lemon along with that, because some of the petrochemicals that are being used and sprayed on some of our foods, citruses do a wonderful job of helping to start breaking down that petrochemical layer.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So each month there are different things that show up in the kit. So the first month is the foundational nutrition, right? It is our VMG plus, the PB Restore, the E Omegas, then the Meta Power Mito 2 Max, and the RevitaZen. So if you're wanting to do it with the Lifelong Vitality, there's not a kit for month one, but you can go and do the comparative, right? So you would order, and this is what I love, you guys, and I have not looked, so please look, and I'm hoping it would be in there. If you order the LLV, you can then add on. You can add on the Terrazyme, you can add on the PB Restore, you can add on the E Omega, you can add in three, right? Then you would just have to get the Revita Zen to do that as the first month. The second month then brings in the RevitaZen oil, and it's recommended that you use, I think I have to look again, but the document, I think it says 6 to 8 drops in a capsule. So the capsules are dual caps, right? The RevitaZen. So it has the solids and then it's coated in the oils. But in the actual detox, you need a little bit stronger of that RevitaZen to help pull things out of the body. Now, kind of as Jared alluded to, anytime you are doing a detox, stuff is going to come out. I worked with a client and they're like, my skin is worse than it's ever been when they did a 30-day rest and or cleanse and restore. Well, that's because the body is going to, like when you're doing a reset or a detox, your body's looking to get rid of all of the things that have been built in the system. You might have more body odor during this. You might have changes in your skin, hair, nails, and even in your bowel movements and your urination. I remember the first time that I did the cleanse and restore, the ammonia smell when I urinated was overwhelming. But it was the first time I had ever done a detox. I was putting the lemon in my water and I was not, I now daily, guys, daily, I have grapefruit in my water. But the first time I did it, I wasn't using oils in my water.
Can you mention why, or can I mention why grapefruit is so great to put in your
Yes.
water? So grapefruit helps to raise your glutathione level, and glutathione is a very happy hormone that people pay lots of money to purchase in little pills, and you can get it in with using grapefruit oil from doTERRA. And remember, when we are talking about all of the oils that we're talking about, we are only talking about doTERRA. Please understand that. Please do not go out and buy cheap oils. They will not work the same. Go ahead, Jared, you're muted.
You're talking and we can't
Remuted.
hear you.
To be very clear, there is no glutathione in your grapefruit. What we're talking about is supporting your body in naturally producing glutathione. And it's pretty amazing when you can give people those building blocks, or when you can give the body the building blocks that it needs in order to make that work. And so that is an amazing way to be able to do that. I'm going to add just one more thing here. Leanne, you were talking about customizing and that kit. For those of you that don't know, this is an amazing thing that doTERRA allows with certain of our lifestyle products. And if you've never seen this in the back office, I was talking with somebody today that had no idea. She's been using doTERRA oils for 12 years and had no idea that this was a possibility. So just right here, if you're in your office, you're in your order, and you go in and you're looking at that LLV, or you're looking at your VMG with the E Omega, just underneath it, there's a button right there to customize it. And that is the coolest button, because that means you can add 3 additional products from that list at significant discounts from what they would be individually. So if you're thinking, hey, you know what, there's a couple of these other different products that I would want, I don't like to spend full price if I can help it. So guys, this is a really cool tip to be able to go and add a couple of those things like TerraZyme onto your order, along with these other foundational wellness products that you're already going to be taking and using.
I love that. So some of the items, I was going to try and show it, but doTERRA's website is not loading for me right now. You can add on Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. You can add on the PB Assist Plus, which are the Pixies. You can add on the collagen. So I love that because they're giving it to us at a greater discount than wholesale. And so it's helping you do those foundational things at a greater discount. So I love that. The other thing I wanted to bring up with the grapefruit, many people say that they can't use grapefruit essential oil because of the drug interaction. The oil is from the rind. It is from the rind being cold pressed. You cannot do the pulp and the fruit inside. That is where the drug interaction comes from. So this will not affect the effectiveness of those drugs that say do not eat grapefruit. There's a difference between eating it and using the essential oil. So I want to be clear with that. So the last month, oh, sorry, we were in the middle of the second month. We have an addition of the GX Assist. The GX Assist supports our GI tract in clearing that out. So that's helping the small and large intestines, and that's helping our colon to a different level than what the RevitaZen is. And then they also add in the TerraZyme and the RevitaZen oil. Again, I am still going to be using TerraZyme. I have been on TerraZyme for years now and truly love the benefits of TerraZyme and can tell a difference when I don't use it. If I forget it, I will say that there are more things that come up that cause a little burning going on. So that's one of the benefits that I've found is it supports my digestive fluids staying in the stomach where they belong. All right, so then in month 3, it is our renewal. And oh, I forgot. In month 2, they also do DDR Prime. DDR Prime is our DNA repair blend. It helps restore proper function of our cells. Okay. So then in month 3, we are staying on the the VMG plus, the Restore, PB Restore, the Omegas, and we're adding in the collagen. Now, this is where I'm going to give a little bit of a caveat. If you're doing this Restore with your teenagers, they don't really need the renewal phase of the collagen. That is as we are getting older. Because as we're younger, our bodies are still producing collagen. This is where I go to Ronay and I like to muscle test for our kiddos. And Ronay has done some of her nutritional training on muscle testing for nutritional supplements and that kind of stuff. So, again, customizing for age and stage. I would go much gentler for someone who is much more seasoned. I would probably do 2 months of prep and look at their diet, look at their movement, look at their mobility. If we are not getting proper movement in, and that doesn't mean killing our bodies with movement, that means walking, that means getting up and moving around after eating because our digestive system needs that movement. Studies are showing that if you can move for 10 to 15 minutes, and that is as simple as, you guys, it is doing calf raises while you're sitting in a chair. It is doing leg raises while sitting in a chair. It's walking, it's standing up and doing your dishes instead of waiting and letting your food digest. We've become this society that thinks that we need to rest during digestion. No, our bodies do much better if we are in movement during the digestive phase. So that's another thing to keep in mind. What are your daily habits? Because truly, you can just do this reset and just do the reset the way doTERRA has given it to us. You want to take it to the next level, you look at the lifestyle pyramid and you go, okay, am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting enough movement? Am I getting enough self-care? Whether that be meditation, whether that be reading an uplifting book, all of these things affect our body. Studies are now showing that emotion affect our physical symptoms and our physical body. And emotions and feelings of anxiousness or deep sadness and sorrow are also affecting our physical body and how we experience discomfort and dis-ease in the body. So our mind, body, and spirit all work together. So yeah, you could do the reset, which is just a physical thing. Or you can look at holistically and make notes of where you might need improvement. Do I need improvement on getting away from electronic devices and reconnecting with nature? Because that's beneficial in a detox. Grounding and reconnecting with nature, being out in fresh air, even if it's cold, fresh air and cold fresh air is actually good for our system. So this is, which level do you want to take this reset and the reset and detox? I love that they're more calling it a prep, a reset, and a renew, right? What can you do to better support your body in supporting itself to do the healing naturally? So I'm going to drop these links one more time. Jared and Ronay, any final thoughts before we go to Q&A?
I think for me, I just want to make sure that you ease into anything that you're doing and that you do this with a buddy, okay? Buddy system is always good because then you have that accountability. You can be asking like, hey, like I've got this going on. Is that the same for you? Just having some back and forth and keeping on track. For me, especially, I love doing stuff like this with a group or a buddy because otherwise I might tend to give up if it becomes difficult. But when I know I have accountability, I stick with it. So if anybody needs a buddy, let me know because I'm always available.
That's awesome. And you know what, guys, there's a field of science called epigenetics. And epigenetics would teach you that, you know, it takes time for these systems to change. And so when we are considering something called dis-ease or disease, you know, depends how you want to say it, dis-ease is a process, and we came to that over time. And it's going to take time to recover from that. And so, if for years we have abused ourselves with sodas and Twinkies and Ho-Hos and whatever other things we've put into our bodies and sugars and everything else, it's going to take time for our bodies to recover, to reset. And so we get to be patient and we get to be kind with ourselves as we're going through that process. You know, it's important that we are patient, and that, you know, that self love, realizing and being kind to ourselves as we're going through this process, I think is a very important thing for all of us as we're going through this. It's not going to change overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't torn down in a day. And it's going to take time for your body to recognize the nutrients, to recognize the things that we're putting in, and really start to build it. And I mean, we've all heard the phrase, we are what we eat. Well, for a lot of us, we're junk food. You know, we're other things, and it's going to take time because the body is constantly in this process of remaking itself. So, if we look at it that way, it's we're not going to get rid of those cells overnight that were formed while we were eating or doing things that were not kind to ourselves. So, be patient with that.
I love that. The body has a 90-day cell cycle. Our body, the cells in our body are rejuvenating and restarting every 90 days. And so the other key with this is it's not you do this detox and reset and then you go right back to old habits. The goal with this is to then be creating a healthier habit. What came of me doing my first cleanse and restore was being on these supplements. Now, there came a time for me where I started doubting, well, I don't feel any different. So are they working? Right? Well, then you go off of them for a while and slowly you start to feel the body change, right? Then you start up again and you feel a change again. What happens? We lull ourselves into thinking that, oh, we've done good enough, right? So once you do the 90-day, then what are you going to do to continue to stay on that healthy path, right? So at the end of your 90-day reset, go back, do the assessment again, see where you've improved and where else you may want improvement. Then also, I will find the link really quick because this just came to mind, is to then go to the Live Guide. And with that Live Guide, go through and do that lifetime assessment. Where do I want to improve my life? Is it in nutrition and digestion and keep going with the reset stuff? Is it with movement and metabolism? Is it with rest and stress management? Is it with reducing toxic load? So we stop putting in some of the toxins that we just cleansed out, right? Is it with informed self care or is it with proactive medical care? There is always room for improvement. This is just a springboard of where to start. If you need to start more gently, reach out to one of us because we can give you a few ways to start gently. Because if you haven't been on the supplements, you may not be ready to just jump in to all the supplements and all the changes. So if there's any questions, reach out to us individually. For those that joined us live, stay tuned because we're going to stop the recording so that we can answer your questions and give you the support you need. As always, we love doing these classes for you. Please join us live because you miss all the stuff before and after we record. So thanks for joining us, you guys.